This is Dan, the Realty Man, coming to you from beautiful Ocala, Florida, saying welcome to this market update for the month of July. Well, how do you think the market is doing? Do you think it's a buyer's market or a seller's market? What is your thoughts on the matter? Well, I'm going to give you the information you need to make a wise decision whether you're buying or selling. But before we get into the report here, just a little side note. School is starting now this month. Let's just be a little careful as we go out on our travels around so that we make sure our young people are safe. Now, what we want to do is take a look at the facts. What's the information telling us? Well, this information is based off of the Stellar MLS as of August 5th. And if you stick with me to the end, I'm going to show you what house sold for the least amount of money here, and of course, what house sold for the most amount of money. So why don't we get into our report, and let's take a look at the numbers here this month. Well, on single-family homes, notice there's 2370 homes available on the market. Now, out of those homes that are available, 704, or 30%, is brand new construction. Notice the difference, though, from last year to this year as far as the asking price is concerned. And this has been the trend for the past couple of months, just showing that the asking price is up there. But the pendings and sales are going to tell us where we're at, though. But also notice with this, the average square footage of a house out there is larger this year than last year. And one interesting note, when we take a look at how long it takes a home to sell, well, last year the average was saying 77 days. Right now, the average home has been on the market for 110 days. But now let's take a look at the pendings over here. There's a good amount. There's 779 homes that are actually under contract. But out of those homes, 354, or 45% of all the homes under contract, are brand new construction. Notice the average pending price of $327,394. Now, the average over here as far as the square footage, a little over 1,800 square foot. So when we take a look, obviously, there's a big difference between what the average listing price, available prices out there, and the pending. But notice there's not much of a difference between the pending price and what is actually sold. See, last year, when we compare last year's sales to this year's sales, there's a few more. I mean, we have 565 sell in July of this year. Last year was 536. But notice the average listing price and the average selling price. There's not a whole lot of difference over here, maybe about a 2% difference. So it's showing still there's kind of consistency. The market's not falling out, and the market's not skyrocketing either. The square footage is pretty comparable over there, but notice last year, it took 77 days to sell. Now it's 82. Not that much. But out of the houses that have sold in July, 243 of these, or 43%, really, of those homes were brand new construction. So we can see what the new construction is going for out there. And there's a lot of incentives. If you have somebody looking to buy a new home, there's a lot of incentives out there for buyers to purchase that. Now, this gives us about a 4-month absorption period. So being a 4-month absorption period, that's actually a good place to be at this point in time. It's not showing a hard buyer's market nor a heavy seller's market out there. It's pretty even. So when we're taking a look at this market here, houses are still selling. If you're looking for a good buy, I can help you find that. If you're looking to sell your home, there's different things that I can do to help your house sell. Do you want information on a particular property? Are you interested in what your neighbor's house sold for or what the house is going for down the street? Call, text, email me, get in touch with me. I'll give you the information that you want. There's no obligation, but then of course, if you choose to use my services, I would be happy to help you out. Now let's see what house sold for the least amount of money and what house sold for the most amount of money here in Ocala. Now, notice this. This is a house on Southeast 18th Avenue. You know, the list price was $98,500 and it sold for $70,000. But no, friends, this house was built in 1938. It was an old house out there, and it was only on the market for 2 days before somebody ended up buying it. And it had 2,300 square foot of living space. Needed a lot of work. The roof was leaking and everything in there. But in 2 days, that house sold. What house sold for the most amount of money? Well, there's one over here on Southwest 80th Street. That house was listed for $1.3 million and it sold $157,000. The house was built in '04. You know, nice house over there, almost 4,000 square foot of living space, but that sold in 81 days. So that's way below what the market is out there as far as the average time. But they were the highs and they were the lows of what ended up selling here in Ocala in the month of July. Well, like I say, is there a particular property you're interested in? Do you have friends or family that would need to sell or like to move around here in the area? Please call, text, or email me. I'm here to help you. I hope you find this information informative. Use it to your advantage. Know what the statistics are. And listen, you know, I really do appreciate you watching this video. And if you have any comments, please feel free to share them with me. Well, this is Dan, the Realty Man, wishing you a good day. Hope you're doing well. And I look forward to talking to you in the future. Bye now.